The laws of life. Why are some people and organizations more successful than others? Why do some people have wonderful careers, moving from position to position, onward and upward, earning far more money, being consistently paid more and promoted faster? And why is it that others go from job to job, continually worrying about money and feeling that they are unappreciated for their hard work and their contributions? Why do so many people, as Thoreau once wrote, live lives of quiet desperation? When I started my business career, I was so far behind. I thought I was first. I moved from job to job, seldom by choice, a bit bewildered by the swirl of events around me and the seemingly unreasonable and unpredictable behaviors of my bosses. I felt like a pawn, playing in a game or being played in a game in which I didn't clearly understand the rules. Then I began asking, why are some people more successful than others? I noticed that the people around me who were doing better than me did not seem to be smarter than me or of better character. Sometimes they had difficult personalities and questionable ethics. Oftentimes their ideas and opinions didn't make much sense, but they were doing well nonetheless. 100 Absolutely Unbreakable Laws of Business Success, page 26. The Great Discovery. The first big breakthrough for me was my discovery of the Aristotelian principle of causality, what we today call the law of cause and effect. At a time when most people believed in gods on Mount Olympus, who amused themselves by toying with human fate and destiny, Aristotle stated something completely different. It changed our world of view forever. 1. The law of cause and effect. Everything happens for a reason. For every effect, there is a specific cause. Aristotle asserted that we live in a world governed by law, not chance. He stated that everything happens for a reason, whether or not we know what it is. He said that every effect has a specific cause or causes. Every cause or action has an effect of some kind or another, whether we can see it or whether we like it or not. This is the granddaddy law, the iron law of Western thought, of Western philosophy. The relentless search for truth, for the causal relationships among events, has led to the rise of the West in science, technology, medicine, philosophy, and even warfare for more than 2,000 years. Today, this focus is driving the technological advances that are changing our world so dramatically. This law says that achievement, wealth, happiness, prosperity, and business success are all the direct or indirect effects or results of specific causes or actions. This simply means that if you can be clear about the effect or result you want, you can probably achieve it. You can study others who have achieved the same goal, and by doing what they did, you can get the same results that they have. Success is not an accident. Success is not a miracle, nor is it a matter of luck. Everything happens for a reason, good or bad, positive or negative. When you are absolutely clear about what you want, you only need to copy others who have achieved it before you, and you will eventually get the same results that they have. This is referred to in the Bible as the law of sowing and reaping, which says that whatsoever a man soweth, that also shall he reap. Sir Isaac Newton called it the third principle of motion. He said, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. For you and I, the most important expression of this universal law is that thoughts are causes and conditions are effects. Put another way, thought is creative. Your thoughts are the primary creative forces in your life. You create your entire world by the way you think. All the people and situations in your life have only the meaning you give them by the way you think about them. And when you change your thinking, you change your life, sometimes in seconds. The most important principle of personal or business success is simply this: you become what you think about most of the time. This is the great discovery upon which all religions, philosophies, metaphysics, schools of thought, and psychology are based. This principle is as applicable to individuals as it is to groups of individuals and organizations. Whatever you see or experience is the expression of the thinking of the people behind the phenomenon. Ralph Waldo Emerson recognized this when he wrote, "Every great organization is merely the lengthened shadow of a single man." It is not what happens to you, but how you think about what happens to you that determines how you feel and react. It is not the world outside of you that dictates your circumstances or conditions. It is the world inside of you that creates the conditions of your life. Your choice, your life. You are always free to choose. In the long run, no one forces you to think, feel, or behave the way you do. Rather, you choose your emotions and your behaviors by the way you choose to think about the world around you and how you choose to think about what is happening to you. Dr. Martin Seligman of the University of Pennsylvania calls this way of reacting your explanatory style. It is the way that you interpret or explain things to yourself. It is the critical determinant of everything you are and everything you become. The good news is that your explanatory style is learned. This means that it can be unlearned as well. Your way of explaining things to yourself is under your control. You can interpret your experiences in such a way that you feel happy and optimistic rather than angry or frustrated. You can decide to react in such a way that your responses are constructive and effective. You decide which it is to be, and you are always free to choose. Your thoughts and feelings are continually changing. They are quickly affected by the events around you. For example, when you receive a piece of good news, your attitude immediately brightens and you feel more positive toward everyone and everything. On the other hand, if you unexpectedly receive some bad news, you can immediately become upset, angry, and short-tempered, even if the news is inaccurate or untrue. It is the way you interpret the event to yourself that determines how you react. How you can apply this law immediately. 1. Examine the most important parts of your life, your family, your health, your work, your financial situation, and observe the cause-effect relationship between what you think, say, feel, and do, and the results you are getting. Be honest with yourself. 2. Be absolutely honest. Analyze how you really think about yourself in relationship to the kind of life you are living. Think about how your thoughts in each area are causing, creating, and maintaining the situation around you. What changes could you make in your thinking to improve the quality of some part of your life? 4 basic laws. There are 4 fundamental laws that flow directly. This is the grand cause and effect. These laws underlie all the laws you will learn in this book. They explain most human experience for better and worse. All happiness and success comes from living in harmony with these 4 laws. All unhappiness and failure comes from violating them in some way. The big 4 are the laws of belief, expectations, attraction, and correspondence. These are sub-laws of the law of cause and effect that explain most success and achievement, most happiness and unhappiness, most prosperity and poverty in life. 2. The law of belief. Whatever you truly believe with feeling becomes your reality. You always act in a manner consistent with your beliefs, especially your beliefs about yourself. Your beliefs act like a set of filters that screen out information that is inconsistent with them. You do not necessarily believe what you see, but rather you see what you already believe. You reject information that contradicts what you have already decided to believe, whether or not your beliefs, your prejudices, are based on fact or fantasy.
The worst beliefs you can have are self-limiting beliefs. These exist whenever you believe yourself to be limited in some way. For example, you may think yourself to be less talented or capable than others. You may have fallen into the common trap of selling yourself short and settling for far less than you're truly capable of achieving. These self-limiting beliefs act like brakes on your potential. They hold you back. They generate the two greatest enemies of personal success, doubt and fear. They paralyze you and cause you to hesitate to take the intelligent risks that are necessary for you to fulfill your true potential. For you to progress, to move onward and upward in your life and your business, you must continually challenge your self-limiting beliefs. You must reject any thought or suggestion that you're limited in any way. You must accept as a basic principle that you are a no-limit person and that what others have done, you can do as well. You just need to learn how. When I was a young man, coming from a difficult upbringing, I fell into the mental trap of concluding that because other people were doing better than I was, they must be better or smarter than I was. I accidentally concluded that they were worth more than I was,